Welcome everyone to tonight's Team Freedom Reigns call. And we are honored. We are Sarah and Chris Smith. We are Pro Sevens with LifeVantage, of course. And we've been with the company now for just about 8 years. We have been asked, and we are so humbled and honored to take over Dondi and Marcy's call tonight. So we are so excited to be here with you guys tonight.
Yeah, so the team call is something that was taught to us by Dondi back in the beginning. It was adopted here in the Northeast in different groups. When you reach kind of a different size, I don't know what that critical mass is. You have your own team call that gets everyone oriented to where you're supposed to be plugged in during the week, during the month, during the quarter, during the business year here at LifeVantage. So that's what this call is about. Dondi and Marcy are in our upline and have been critical in helping us build our business. So as Sarah said, for us, it started about 8 years ago. We were introduced by initially a nurse practitioner, turned us on to watching that ABC News report and put us with a young man who told us his story in this. The company's story at the time was just 2 years out of retail, and that there was a business opportunity involved. There was a way to get paid and that we could be part of that. And that kind of started our journey in this. And it was soon after that that we met Dondi Nettles and Marcy Nettles.
I know, it was amazing. So yeah, so 8 years ago. So a little bit about us for those watching for the first time and maybe not familiar with our story. My background has been in the healing arts as a medical massage therapist, entrepreneur for the last 18, almost 19 years now, actually. And when this information was put really in front of us, we were grappling with a health condition. We were not well. And we were looking for something outside of traditional pharmaceuticals. So we were not necessarily looking for a business at the time. We had a nurse practitioner put us in front of that ABC investigative news report that aired back in 2005, and it blew our minds. Why? Because I had seen so many things come across my desk in the massage space that my clients brought to me and said, hey, what do you know about these? And should I be taking them? And I certainly wasn't going beyond my scope of practice, but I did get very good at researching. And so when I found out that what we had our hands on, it blew me away that we could actually activate our bodies instead of supplement, a much more effective way to find longevity and health. So at that point in time, honestly, it was the time too where Chris had been out of work for 3 months, and I'll have him share a little bit about his story. But we also recognized that if we didn't do something different, our lives were not going to change. And what we realized also is that when our hands were not in the mix, when my hands were not on massage clients and Chris was not at the job site, our paycheck stopped. And that's what happened. We were literally like bankrupt and looking for a way, although at the time we didn't know it was wrapped up in this business called LifeVantage.
Yeah, I wasn't so certain, I guess, in the beginning because I didn't understand network marketing. But my prior working career experience was working in the mountain sports industry as a professional ski patroller. And that's a great profession. And there's a lot of purpose if you like helping people in that capacity, but doesn't provide for a very good retirement. So I did that before I had a family. And when I had a family, I was actually in construction. So providing a little better, but I got into a situation where I was working dark to dark, and there was really not an exit plan to that. So that's kind of the crux of where we were at. And what I had to see was for myself that network marketing had actually checked all of the boxes that I had been listing about 2 months prior to this coming across our desk. There was something I wanted to get out of the construction industry. I wanted to be in something with more purpose. I wanted to be do something with my wife, a business we could pursue together, something we could take our daughter along and not be away from her dark to dark when we were doing this, have some control of our time and an opportunity to not necessarily have a ceiling on us based on just simply the number of hours, which is finite, that we could put into something. And I'd actually been wishing for all that. But again, in that first meeting, I didn't recognize network marketing was the vehicle for that. And specifically, this company for what it has its hands on, and the timing of it right now is absolutely phenomenal. So how do we get to where we are? Well, with help from a phenomenal team upline and downline in building this business, but everyone adhered to certain principles and behaviors that we were taught in the beginning of this that we have executed for the last 8 years to this day. This business is very, very simple. Well, two of those measurable behaviors are doing 15 presentations or more a month. We are in marketing. It is our job to deliver the marketing message, and attending all events. This is where we are educated, motivated, and inspired. And we have events and we have calls. And this is the kind of call we'll do some training, but we're going to orient everyone to these events that are just absolutely so critical.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's where we learn. I mean, we were kind of babies in this business, not knowing necessarily what we were doing and equating it to our traditional ways of income, right? And it's a very different experience when you have a team you can leverage, and how does it work, and all those things. So what we're going to do, we're excited to bring you some really powerful training around what we're calling the 3 B's. Okay, it's called belief, being bulletproof, and being bold, are what's happening right now to allow the growth in our business to really take off. So first, we're going to run through the announcements, and then we're going to jump into the training. So give us a chance to share our screen here and click into present. So here we are. I love being in Dondi Marcy's chair for a night. It's so fun. So thank you. And we are honored to do this for you, you guys. Opt in for text reminders, text LFVN. This is a way that corporate has set up for us to be able to track the little dips that take place in our business. Maybe the things that we're not thinking about when we have customers and their subscriptions might not have gone through, and just reminders. And I think the training of what we need to pay attention to in our business is really great. So we have the opt-in text reminders that corporate has given us. And it is the product of the month is Pretandem this month. So, lots of details. There are specials running right now where if you have been off the product and are now back on the product, they're running incentives for those, getting that Pretandem NRF2 Synergizer. This is really where we started. We were part of the company going from, what was it, like 126 million up to 200 million, well, 250 now, but like in the beginning, it was really all through just this Pretandem NRF2 product. So the company's really focusing on taking it back to what we know and what we can lead with as our product portfolio unfolds. I mean, just think about it. We have the new skincare line that just came on, which is phenomenal, and we're going to have more products. The new Axio flavors. We have a lot to talk about on the product front. So I think just taking it back to that place where we started and nailing and really educating the masses around NRF2, right? The NRF2 activation is something that, flips people's minds to know that, wow, we can actually activate our bodies. And that's a big educating point for us that we really need to focus on as well.
Yeah. Elite Academy. This is going to be all virtual. We don't have the chance to be in person, but we want to be there. These events that we talked about are critical. So and we want to start with the largest ones first and fit those into our calendar. So normally we would all be getting together. Where was EA going to be? Was it I know Global was going to be in Phoenix, but it's not. But anyway, we were going to be getting together somewhere, probably Salt Lake City in July. So register for that. You can still get the $89 price. And a lot of regions are going to be probably putting rooms together. We're going to be attempting to do that in the Northeast region, get a bunch of folks together in person to broadcast into Elite Academy and get ready for what's coming up in the fall.
And then we have Global Convention, and that is in Salt Lake City. There are only 2,500 seats available for this. I don't know about you. I got my ticket. I want to make sure everybody gets their seats, but I'm almost tempted to buy 2 tickets because this is going to be an incredible event. Leadership from all around the world is going to come, and I think everything's going to be looking good for that live event. We just attended our first live event, and it was incredible. So that's October 7th through the 9th, and right in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, so that's going to be the first big live event back on that scale that corporate has done. As Sarah said, we were just at the Building Depth event in St. George, Utah. And as we're going to talk about in the training, people's businesses absolutely shifted with results, measurable results after that event, and because of that live event. So that's why we are so excited about global. And I really want to nail it home. You don't want to, I can't believe there's actually tickets available. So you do want to get in there and get registered. Absolutely.
We have the Flip the Switch opportunity call Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And really, this is being aired on the official LifeVantage Facebook page. And this is where the top elite distributors in this company, from Pro 8s, 9s, 10s, people who are in action, people who are really building this business, are there doing an opportunity presentation to really, have a forum to get prospects in front of the information. So that's every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, if you're on the East Coast, and 7 p.m. Mountain.
Activate Wednesday. I think, with this, I really haven't been on it, but what I do know about it, what I've seen of it, is that this really dives into what a skill. This covers another facet of it, of the follow-up. Something we learned in the beginning, that we're following up with people that are prospectively looking in at our company. But sometimes once people are on the inside, we kind of forget to do that. There are customers, if you've been in this for a while, that probably don't know about some of these new products, maybe don't even know about some products that came out a few years ago if we failed to follow up. So Activate Wednesdays is a campaign to learn how to win back your old customers, upsell current, and acquire new customers and distributors. And I think a lot of that is diving into a list of people that you've already been through, presenting some of that information to them. That's very valuable once you've gone through that once. And Activate Wednesdays, I think, will walk you through identifying who you can actually maybe bring to the next level in your business.
Absolutely. Really important part. LifeVantage Academy. Oh my gosh, you either attended or was at the last LifeVantage Academy. Just super powerful. It's a 4-hour training that happens on the third Saturday of every month, except on the months where we have a major event. And, right now, corporate is taking stock of the markets where they're going to be opening. So this slide is actually old. We didn't have it's not our slide deck, but we can tell you that it's not only Orlando, Phoenix, and Salt Lake, but it's Austin, it's Sioux Falls, and Bethesda are now opening up next month. So they're open for live events. And of course, if virtual is what you need to do right now, attending, it's going to be, on the East Coast, 11 to 3 p.m. And it will be based out of Salt Lake City. So you'll see on the registration, Salt Lake City virtual. If you're attending virtually, that's the only event you can attend virtually. So make sure you click on there and get your ticket. You can do it through the app under events, which is amazing. And again, being live, it looks, we're excited for things to go live. So stay tuned as the company sort of veils all of the new markets and old ones with, kind of a live event structure. I mean, that's really how we built our business. And if we want to just talk about that real quick.
We should take a second. This is going to be like a little sidebar training. Events are critical. Okay. The principles and behaviors to be successful in this business, if you want to be elite, you do 15 presentations or more a month, because we're in marketing. So that's what you do. You're in marketing. To learn and build teams, you need to attend an event every month. Some of those are very big: Elite Academy, Global Convention, okay, Building Depth. These are big events stacked with a lot of elite trainers, corporate people. Okay, it gives everyone, your guests even, and we're going to talk about that, and your team, a big picture look at LifeVantage. And there's a reason for the monthly event. There's a reason where you're like, well, maybe I'll go to 2 this year. I'll just go to the 2 big ones. Is that when someone gets into the business of network marketing, statistically, you got about 3 months where they need to catch the vision or some success or be motivated and inspired. And when you have some kind of monthly event, especially live in your region to plug into, it's very, very powerful. It will keep people engaged just long enough to actually find success. See, most people in this industry simply quit before payday, whether it's to see Pro 3 or see Pro 7. Okay, there's different journeys to both. But I can't stress enough, if you want to move, how critical these a monthly event to be able to plug people into is. It builds so much social validation that you can't provide on your own.
Absolutely. And here we are, Success Mastery. And again, this is a really powerful training. It's happening on Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And again, this is going to be aired through the official LifeVantage Facebook group. And typically with Success Mastery, it's hearing from different elite distributors on mindset, on the compensation plan, on really building belief in your business and how they got to where they were, right? So, and corporate hosts that, very powerful, and it's now on the Facebook group.
Okay, the Wanderlust incentive trip. This is the last month to qualify, correct?
Yes.
Yes, so you have to be qualified Pro 4 by the end of this month, ranked up. And there's a lot of other points. There are 3 different ways to earn those points, but this is it. So for people who are running for that, you probably know who you are. That is the company's latest incentive trip, and is our first time really, other than some of the elites getting together, everyone really starting to get back together again in one capacity or another. So that's going to be awesome.
Yes, Wanderlust. Earn your share. The monthly bonus pools are something to shoot for with your action, with where you're putting your time, is really to have the 5 enrollments equaling 500 in personal volume or more, and then you get a share of the pool. So, and that is really the company takes 5% of the Smart Start volume globally and places it into a pool. So it's really just this incentivizing the behaviors that we should be doing anyway. And it's been really powerful. And I think Odell is on here. I think she hit the pool probably 4 times, 5 times. Odell, drop it in the chat. Anyway, she's been crushing that. And I love it. I love it. So yeah, it's, and it means keeping your funnel full. And if you talk to Odell, that's what she does. She knows exactly the numbers it takes to be able to come out and reach this pool. And she just decided, which is really amazing.
Yeah, that first principle of 15 or more. Again, there's a metric behind that. We won't go into that, but Odell's in the or more category. That's what it takes actually to produce that result. And that comes from filling that funnel long before this incentive came up. Okay, that's many months in the making. So congratulations, Odell.
Exactly. And the Nettles do the Shooting Stars Club. So to become part of this Shooting Stars Club, it's about acquiring a minimum of 2 new accounts equaling 100 in volume minimum. And then, each month, I don't know if you've gotten a little card in the mail, but yeah, Donnie and Marcy are really taking care of us and acknowledging and recognizing the work that all of us do. And here we are in June so far. Yep, we got a Donna Blankenship, Marjorie Ham, Amy Leonardson, Claudia Rodriguez, and Jill Weinberg. So congratulations.
That Marjorie Ham's always.
Marjorie Ham is always crushing it. Holy cow.
Congratulations.
Yep, crushing the leadership MVP. So we're going to go ahead and stop the share here, and we're going to jump right into the topic that we want to bring to you tonight. And, it's something when we thought about, okay, what should we talk about? What do the leaders want to hear about, right? What is going to be inspiring and really help hopefully somebody take a nugget with them? And when we were thinking about it, it's like, for us, it's about bringing you value and sharing with you what's happening with what's going on right now in our organization that's really super successful, and just sharing kind of, the critical things that drive success in this business, but that are really accelerators in building the momentum and really having some growth. I mean, we're looking at where the fires are in our business, and we came up with, what are the things that need to be in place, and what are people doing right now to find success in creating the action in our business. So we're going to share with you. We're going to walk through a few key nuggets that we've put together for you.
Okay, so in the scope of things, we're looking at starting with belief. Okay, we need in belief, you need 3 beliefs: a belief in first some kind of belief in this industry, right? And then you build belief in this company and what we have our hands on, and then you build a belief in yourself, and you need to get that shored up. Then you've got to be bulletproof, okay? Not only have that belief, but that belief's got to be so solid that you go out there and you test that, and you pass those tests. And when you can finally do that, then you can put it together to be bold, to do what it takes to become an elite distributor. That's kind of where this training is focused tonight. If you are speaking to, when you go out there, people and looking at that income disclosure, and you're talking about that global revenue sharing bonus, that means someone wants to be elite, or else I wouldn't even talk about that. So if that's where you're focused, if that is your goal when you initially looked at LifeVantage, that's what this is about, building these things so that you can become an elite distributor. Now, how's your organization going to look? It's going to, when you pan out, okay, all this volume in the company, and we have all of our customers and stuff, but as far as distributors who join the business, unfortunately, not everyone who signs up and gets sponsored as a distributor catches fire. Okay, so you're gonna have 80% of your organization will be focused on a very safe place of product sales, and that's a great place to be. We want to share these products with people. Our company's developed an awesome platform to do that, but that will, until you're going to break through and build a network for this company, that will eventually only take you so far, probably even after 10 years of doing that. Then you're going to have the next 20% of the people, okay? And 17% of those are going to be trying to acquire the skills to do what it takes to build a big team, which means going to those events. I mean, 12 of them a year, just one a month, okay? We tell people, can you be in one training call a week and one event a month? Okay, and that's what you got to do. And then you're 15 and a few other things, but that's really it. Okay, so those people want to put that together. And then 3%, a very small percentage of the people that come into your business, are quickly going to get up to speed where they got it. They know they need to show up to the events. They have the skills. They're running. They could run independent of you. Okay, our enroller, we don't need her help. She's fantastic. She could fill rooms like no one I've ever seen. She would be going to the meeting, get gas at her car, and get someone from the gas station and have them at the meeting with her other guests, yeah. 5, 6 guests. She was unreal. And we quickly learned to do the business independent of her, so she could run and do our thing. Well, you're going to find a small percentage of people that are going to do that. They're going to run parallel with you. And so if you're in that 20%, possibly those 17 percenters, which is where we were. We really wanted this. That's why we showed up to everything, okay? Then you're in the right place, because that's what we're gonna talk about tonight. Shoring up your belief, getting you bulletproof so you can be bold. It's that boldness that's gonna get you there. This is so simple. And you're gonna leverage these events to do it. So you're gonna talk about belief, I guess.
Yeah,
like
belief. Yeah. Belief is something that in the beginning, when people get out there to even open their mouth to share this information, you can detect it. Like if somebody doesn't have full belief, maybe in the products, full belief in themselves that they can do this, or maybe they have this little thing in the back of their mind that says, oh, I wish this wasn't in network marketing. Like there's a lack of belief at the power of the industry. So in building the belief, like the key things, just like Chris was talking about before, is like, you want to be a product of the product. Like the belief accelerates your power and posture when you have the products in your body, because they work, right? Skincare immediately. Protandim, the Tri-Synergizer works quicker than it did just with the Protandim NRF2, the hair care. So we have so many things. Like I think making sure that one who is wanting to build this is got their hands, they've got all the products going on, because that is incredibly, it's a fast way to build belief. Now, the belief in the industry, you just have to be a student of the industry, show up to all the events and be around the people that have had success, because then your belief of the industry working while you're going through your ups and downs with how we get started. Because in the beginning, we're not, the belief isn't solid yet. And that's why we have a team of people. So between attending the events and putting yourself in action, like getting out of your comfort zone, I think getting used to being out of your comfort zone is so key, because when you're not comfortable, That's actually where the growth happens. It not only with yourself, but in the business. And that's where you learn how not to sweat when you're talking to people that are maybe you feel are more successful and you want to invite in, but you want to sound really good too, And so I think a part of this in the beginning with a brand new person, it's really around inviting your enroller, the person you're locking arms with. It could be your enroller's enroller, right? It doesn't, sometimes you're working with different people at different times, but you're locking arms and you're borrowing that posture because it is kind of scary. You have something good, you saw the vision, but is the belief there? And then the last thing is the belief in the industry. The more I look into it, I'm just going to tell you, it is absolutely one of, I wouldn't want to do anything else, to be honest, because we're actually accessing true freedom. We're unlocking the human potential for people. We have a vehicle that will free people up to be able to live their lives and have choices. I mean, it's incredible. And you just have to, fortunately, this is our first ride. We were not in a company that failed or that went under or had people in their corporate team that maybe were unethical. Like we're public, we're under the scrutiny of many different people. So my belief in this company and in the products happened pretty quickly. My belief in the industry happened over time, but I showed up to everything. We showed up to everything to learn more about it. And then the belief in ourselves. The belief in ourselves is something that for some people takes a while. I can tell you for me, it took a while. I did not have the belief that I could run a large team. I felt like that, how could I work with that many people all at once? So I didn't know, I didn't know what I didn't know, right? We're leveraging a system and we're leveraging all this talent on our team. But in the beginning, it's that belief in yourself. And that's where the personal growth and development comes. That's where you're diving in and you're kind of moving the needle forward on your own personal growth. And that's part of what takes place, whether you like it or not, in this. So, that's belief.
Yeah. And the next thing is becoming bulletproof when you believe. So as Sarah said, that personal growth, I'm just going to talk straight to you. We've seen people over 8 years, they'll hit their own ceiling and just say and refuse to grow, and their businesses will refuse to grow. Maybe they'll torpedo their own business. In not being bulletproof, we've seen it happen all too easy. When we first got involved, there was this just blogger called Lazy Man, and people would let this guy torpedo their business. And I did a little series where I actually shared his website and I shared the credentials of the people involved with LifeVantage, from our board of directors to the formulators of our product. And when you just do that side by side, it's absolutely ridiculous to think that someone would have got sucked into that. But I actually saw distributors have their, cousin Bobby, bring them this Lazy Man blog, and they were out. It's sad to think about that these are people that, since we've hit elite, that they, by now, looking back 8 years, they could have been elite distributors, and that they threw that away because of some silly blogger. I mean, be bulletproof, guys. This publicly traded NASDAQ company is offering you to earn a position to share in global revenue. That opportunity does not exist with other companies in or out of network marketing. I mean, there's maybe a few, but that's a big deal. That's what we looked at in the beginning. I was like, that's what we're going for in this thing. We're going to get in, we're going to build as many business centers as they will let us have that will qualify for that. And that's a whole other subject. But when you look at every facet of what this company offers, after you fully believe in it, you will be bulletproof, down to who is investing their money and putting our stock in their clients' portfolios, right down to what kind of reputable doctors, scientists, PhDs put their reputation and stamp of approval on the line, even by becoming distributors in LifeVantage, of which we saw a handful of doctors in this company turn into 1,000 or more. It could be over 1,000 now. I know
it's over 1,500.
It was in the hundreds of some years back. I mean, this is a ground swell, and for you to know about this company when it's $200 million is it's like getting hit by lightning. And the fact that we've kind of held here while some of us could actually up level our skills, the company didn't like go by us and hit like that first billion. Like, oh, I didn't have it all together a few years ago, and now, oh, it took off without me. That didn't happen, guys. If you have been here for the last few years, you've had the opportunity to see the company just figuring some things out while we're all getting our skills just better and better, and we're ready to deliver this to the world. But being bulletproof is key. And I tell people, as soon as you know your story, the company's story, and you can talk about, I don't know what we can say anymore, leveraged income. You know, when I'm one-on-one with people, I use all kinds of words we probably shouldn't use to get them to understand how this is different. But the key ingredient is you'll be able to go out and knock out a lot of presentations once you add that fourth ingredient of you're bulletproof. You can go out on your own now. But we weren't at one point. That's where Dr. Nettles came in for us. He was that bulletproof guy in the beginning until we had that next piece of the puzzle to really build this. And then that brings you to really developing yourself to learn how to actually be bold and really be like, okay, I'm not overstating this. I have my head around how big this is, and I'm going to make sure that people at least know what I see in it, how big my vision is. It's the boldness ultimately, right? We've witnessed it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, just to tie up on being bulletproof, as a brand new distributor, you want to bring a guy like that to your meeting. Like, it's going to be really important to learn how to bridge somebody else who's got the knowledge in the bulletproof side and can answer and resolve concerns. And that was one of the hardest things in the beginning to learn how to do without being all awkward. But one of the ways, and that I find, is that I just get excited when I get Dr. Nettles to come on, and I say to that person, who I'm meeting with for a follow-up, hey, I just got Dr. Nettles to jump on with us. He's an amazing resource. He's been with the company since ribbon cutting, but you could do the same thing with us, right? If you're on our team, it's like, kind of paint that vision. Like, you are so excited to have 5 minutes, which usually turns into 15 because there's a lot going on, but we only have 5 minutes with Dr. Nettles. Let's, this is such an honor, and so the more excited you are about that, that connection, the faster that person is going to move through the information, because that's really what they have our third party, even though our prospect trusts us, the credibility lies in the hands of Dr. Nettles. Let's say, if you were our person that we were our expert. So it's important for that brand new distributor to figure that out really quickly, just to say, hey, I'm sitting with my business partner. I'd love to have you meet them. And that's where the on-the-job training, comes. And that's where being around the bulletproof, being around all the answers and the languaging on how you say things starts to rub off. And it's the quickest way to learn how to do this business. That leads me into talking about just being bold. We can be bold with this. This is, frankly, we have our hands on it's like Protandim NRF2, just Protandim NRF2 is a technology of the future. Like, everything that's going on right now, we won't get into details, but let me just say, everything that's going on right now, it's like Protandim NRF2
changed my life. That one product.
Yeah, changed his life. And then thinking about the world today. So even just with that one product, so we can be bold in stating that, I think, the message here in being bold is, and where I'm seeing like massive growth happening on our team is really around, bold invitations and the bold invite to get on a plane and fly out, to corporate, the bold invitation to, go, come to LVA. We have team members that are flying into the LVAs to have the experience because they're stepping into their future, self when it comes to building teams. They want to be attracting the people that are going to fly in everywhere. So they need to fly in everywhere. Who we're being in the moment is so important. You matter, we matter when we're sitting here thinking about a future team. And, it could be a future leg that you're building if you already have a team, but the bolder you are with saying, hey, we're moving these inventions globally, I want to have your eyes on this information to see, if anyone in your network is looking for something like this. So, when we're in a hurry, right? They always say that, be in a hurry, it's urgent. We want, when we were talking about the invitation to take a look, the bolder you are with that, the more people are going to lean in, and the bolder we are when we're reaching out to our networks, to the people that are kind of scary, that have already had success, the bolder we are in inviting the types of people that are actually going to lean in support whether or not they do the business. They're not going to be, criticizing and judging or being skeptical. It's truly, I think it's just so much a part of the success that we're seeing on our team is just to be bold. And how do you become bold? You absolutely need to be bulletproof, and you absolutely need to believe, and so with a big portion of our team Vision Quest part of the team, with Cynthia Greenewalt, she kind of brings some of this languaging to the table, but she's getting people to fly out to many different places. She's getting her team to fly, hey, if you didn't make it to building depth, you need to fly out to a LifeVantage overview. An LVA, get on a plane and fly. And so it's up leveling everyone to take a stand. And not only are we taking a stand for ourselves in the future we want to create, we're taking a stand for that team that we're attracting to the table. And that just seems to be duplicating, replicating.
We're just trying to create a consistent message, throughout, basically. But the value in that bold invite is this: we're in marketing. We go out and we do our presentation, and we're trying to walk someone through enough information to where they make a decision. The best way to get them to the decision quickly for them is to see the next bigger picture. Well, if you're looking at this from a business standpoint, there isn't a bigger picture than an event like Building Depth or the global convention. And that's the value that you give to people, is there will be no gray area. That's the value of you getting on the plane. You will know after that event. You're not going to mess around for 6 months. You're going to know whether or not you're in or you're out. And we've seen that value play out in results with people's teams changed for real after the Building Depth event.
Yep.
Linda Grace was another person that got people to fly to the events. And I will say, that's something you build in this. If you're not there yet, it's fine. It is still okay to deliver an invite that's not this big, huge, bold, audacious thing. So don't think this is what you have to do all the time. But this will filter out a 1%er, someone who sees the vision and is hungry for a vehicle to change their life. Because in the beginning, we weren't as bold, even with setting the expectation for a new distributor that they should get on a plane and go to an event. I mean, we were kind of almost like, yeah, you should do this because they said you should.
Right.
Now there's no question, but now we've actually learned this is what we should be doing with our guests, not inviting them to a webinar meeting. They've seen one of those. They're really serious. They want to go for that global revenue sharing bonus, and you should get on a plane and go with us to Salt Lake City, because you're going to see the company top to bottom and there'll be no question. If they say no, they say no. Let them decide.
Well, and here's the thing too, when they, if the bold request is there, how they respond is really just a great indicator for whether or not they're really serious. I mean, so it's kind of a way to really gauge the level of interest of your network at a whole different level. And people love to feel that level of up-leveling. They like to feel like they're being supported like that. So, and that just means that we're believing in them more than they believe in themselves in the moment. And that's really important, because that's what we do as leaders, is we make sure that we're holding the space and belief in that new person before they're there, before they can see themselves there. And it just kind of makes, somebody kind of perk up, like, wow, they actually invited me to jump on an airplane. It's kind of adventurous, and results happen from there. So that's what we're really seeing, where the fires are on our team right now, is consistency. It's they're, plugging in to the events, they're crushing the numbers. Their, belief is good. Their invites are bold, and They're, they're bulletproof or they're borrowing the bulletproof, which is all good. That's what we do here. I mean, we're in a business of leverage, and it's important to really do that, to leverage the team.
Yeah, and to address events and calls, all these people having great success, us since the beginning. Please look at all of that as a buffet and eat as much as you need to consume. But what we say is this, the baseline, and you can be successful with this, is it ends up being really 2 calls a week. We have a call just like this where we just orient everyone to the schedule, and we have people, groups under us that have duplicated, replicated, are consistent with that call. And you just do that, okay? And then there's another training call, one other call. We pick one where there's a whole panel of elites to deliver training, and that happens 4 times a month. So one kind of orientation call, one training call, two training calls a week. That's it, okay?
Yeah, keep it simple.
One event per month. That's an LVA, it's an EA, it's building depth, which happens every quarter. It is our global convention, okay? Can these people do that? Yes, they can. They're 15 presentations a month, one event per month, and a couple of calls per week. That's the baseline. If you need more training, more calls, it's out there for you. I mentioned I hadn't, participated in the Activate Wednesday call. It's not that it's not important and valuable, but we're doing presentations. Okay, we don't have time to be on training calls like 7 nights a week. Actually, the majority of time should be spent delivering that marketing message. But be sure you're getting just enough, just what you need at the buffet to make sure your skills are topped off. But go out there and sharpen them in the field, doing those presentations, those bold invites. That's how those people grew their businesses over this past month. So I think that's kind of a wrap. Do you want to wrap this?
No,
okay,
we're good.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
wrap this. We are so blessed, honored to have Dondi and Marcy in our upline. They have helped us, teach us all these techniques that we've taught you. They brought us through this very same process, taught us to go to events, treat them as critical and important, do 15 presentations a month, and show up when we said we were going to show up. Those guys flew out all the way from Phoenix to help us so many, many, many times, and a lot of people on this Zoom as well. So we are forever grateful for that. Grateful for all of you that showed up and spent a little time with us this evening.
All right, everybody. Have a great week.
Good night, all.